All right, Trenton, I'm gonna kind of flip you to your side here. We got a brand new idea to talk about today.
I come down here and he gives me 20 minutes to come up with 3 bottles, and I'll let him kind of talk about that. But it's no surprise. I'm sure you had 5 hours this morning to think about it.
No, not that long. I seriously did think about it for about 2 hours trying to figure it out. I dwelled on it and I contemplated. I sweated it out.
You really sweat when you
when I'm really gearing hard on a subject. Trying to study it out and figure out what we're gonna do. Yeah, maybe a little bead of sweat comes down here. I'm not sure. Probably does.
That's interesting because you don't sweat even when it's 1,000,000 degrees outside. So this must have been really weighing on you pretty heavily.
It was. Well, as you folks know, we spend quite a bit of time sharing our favorites lists. In a lot of different genres and variations of this, that, and the other thing. We've given you a lot of our favorite bourbons and whiskeys. On the other hand, at times we've also given you some of our least favorite. Mostly some of the whiskeys and bourbons that we just absolutely do not like. And that one video, that very first, bourbons I regret buying, it's almost at 1 million views. Did you know that?
Is it really? No,
That's
I didn't.
Insanity.
Wow.
That's crazy. Well, today what we're going to do, and it's something I thought about in specifics because of a bottle that I was trying to figure out what I wanted to drink just a few nights ago. What are some bourbons or whiskeys that you and or I really liked at one point, but now is just like, take it
just not hitting the sweet spot anymore.
Just not anymore, right? And just to me, it's like like food, like you eat like 6 times a week at the chicken place.
He calls Chick-fil-A the chicken place.
Yeah.
No. I got burnt out on Chick-fil-A.
And that's what I'm talking about. So you love it though, right? You loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now it's just kind of like,
Right.
I've been eating a lot of lean cuisines recently. Very low effort. That's kind of what I'm into right now. Just toss something in the microwave.
Well, anyways, that's kind of the route that I took here. So we've got 3 different bottles to share with you, and he's got some bottles. So I'll let him discuss his. So why don't you go first? Because
I can't wait to me.
I can't wait for some of these. I really can't.
Well, if you're watching this and you watched our video on Friday, you'll know that we kind of determined that Rare Breed was like actually really good, and you kind of knew that all along. There were a lot of people that did, but
a lot of folks did.
Honestly, I was sleeping on it a little bit. Wow, what honestly surprised me was not only the order that kind of ended up being the like standings or whatever. I can't even talk right now because I'm so excited. Old Forester 1920, and that is the bottle that I'm going to be talking about. This bottle we talked about a lot. And this is one of the high proofers that I usually recommend to people. Maybe not so much anymore.
Right.
But this won our Bourbon Madness tournament. This has won several blinds for us.
Yeah.
And for some reason, as of late, it just has not been hitting that sweet spot anymore. What is? I'm gonna kind of talk. I guess I'll just toss in some like what I'm drinking instead.
Sure.
I know I just kind of threw that on you.
No, I don't care.
So for me, and this might be an overcorrection, but I was drinking a lot of like high proof stuff, 120 proof, 130 proof, that kind of thing.
I know.
And anymore when I'm at home, I just kind of want to not have like fire in my mouth.
Really?
Not that like 120 or 130 proof is high. I mean, it is high, but
you're talking like on a consistent basis.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's me to the T. I can't do that consistently.
I just want more of like a nice, smooth, relaxed experience rather than like, I'm watching a movie, then they take a sip and it's like, holy cow, So instead, I've been pulling down 1910, Old Forester 1910 from the Whiskey Row series, a lot more.
Very good.
And it's like 93 proof.
Yeah.
I think it's 93. It's in the 90 proof.
I believe it is 93.
Which, if you've watched the videos before, you know that I usually have trouble picking up flavors in lower proof stuff. But that bottle is just...
It is
delicious, and it's available everywhere, just like this. But it's just been a little bit like peppery, a little bit hot for me recently.
Well, at first when you picked it, I was like, "Oh boy, that's bold." I know there's going to be some people that are going to argue with you at this point, which is fine. I mean, that's what we want. We want some communication here. But then the more I thought about it, Trenton, I'm like, that hasn't done well in the last couple of blinds that we had it in, and I don't remember the last time I walked over and picked it off the shelf to pour some. I don't remember. What? Did you burp again? Bro. What? I just don't.
I didn't even do it on purpose. But
Your mom sees this.
She's gonna love it. But yeah, anyway, that's my first one. I'm sure that's gonna take a lot of you by surprise. But I've seen a couple people kind of agree with me just in like Discord, say like, hey, the 1910 I've been liking a lot more. So let me know what you think.
Yeah. All right.
What do you got?
My first one, and please don't take this bottle as a specific, but for me, I'm just really, I'm kind of worn thin of Amburana finished bourbons.
Yeah.
There's only so much Cinnamon Toast Crunch that I can handle. Let's put it that way.
Oh, come on. You're not a cereal guy?
And please, this RD1 is probably one of the better ones. I mean, it's good. So it was handy, so I grabbed it. But I'm talking in specifics, Amburana finished bourbons. Trent, to me, I'm like, why do I even want to look for? I mean, I think you got me the ASW over here, which I think is really good.
Yeah.
There's several that are over there, but I'm like, whoa.
The Nulu, the Penelope, this one, ASW.
I have zero interest of getting any more because they're all roughly the same. And I don't know, it might be just my opinion. I know it's Joe's opinion too, but when we talk about finished bourbons or whiskeys, I just don't like it when the finish overrides the goodness of the bourbon. It seems to me like it happens consistently with an Amburana finish. It is primarily Cinnamon Toast Crunch. So why get another one? Because it's what's going to taste like Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the only one that I kind of liked a little bit more, and I do like the ASW Fiddler Amburana one. Mm-hmm. I think it's good. It's a higher proof, which kind of suits me a bit. The Penelope Rio adds in that honey, which I think is kind of nice. It tames that down a bit.
Okay, well, I just tried that the other day, and I think that one is almost too sweet.
You think so?
Now. Yeah, it almost leans towards a flavored whiskey almost to me.
I could see that. Yeah.
I don't know.
But it's interesting. I haven't seen many more Amburana finishes come out recently.
Okay.
I'm wondering if it was just a fad or it was like we're a younger distillery. We have younger juice, 1 to 2 years old. It might not be living up to what we were hoping. Okay. So the Amburana finish might cut through some of that harshness. Or
that's a good point.
Youngness.
That I wasn't even thinking about. So that is a good point. So, but in general, not for me anymore.
Can you say that again?
That's a good point.
Love it.
That's a good point.
Love it.
It was.
Wow.
I didn't even think about that.
You made my day. All right. Next one. One that I also have seen a couple, I don't know, complaints about, but maybe some dissatisfaction, would be the Midwinter Nights Dram series as of late. This is in particular is Act 10, Scene 3. But I was fortunate enough, Walker sent me, I guess one of his buddies is in like the High West release program or whatever they got going on.
Okay.
He asked if I wanted one. I said, sure. I opened it the other day and I was saving it for a video. And usually I don't, you get a new bottle and you crack that thing open right away.
Pretty quickly.
Yeah. I was like, I'll wait to come down here and we'll try it. And I was like, nah, I'm kind of bored. I'll try it. And I opened it and I let it sit for about 30 minutes and I was just very disappointed. And usually like I think it's Act 7 and younger, or like, I think they're delicious. But like 8, 9, 10, and 11, they're just, what gets me too is that price hike, right? I think this year the MSRP on the Act 11 was like $150.
Yeah, Harry did text me, Trenton, and ask if I wanted one. But I have this one, and then I have another one over there. It's about half the bottle, and there's for $150. I don't need another one at the moment.
Yeah, being a big rye fan and a big finished whiskey fan, I always look forward to these releases. But anymore with the price hike, it's just like,
Yeah, when you got
it's a bummer.
When you got Sagamore finished ryes
Half
over
the
there
price?
that are pretty much close to half the price, that are fabulous.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, if I'm going to finished rye anymore, it's not this. It's Sagamore because it's readily available. But I don't know. I didn't see many praises about this year's release. They had like 189,000 bottles too. So it should be pretty readily available depending on your area.
Lot.
That is a lot. Yeah. I don't know what they did last year, but I know that this year was a bit more than usual. And I was under the assumption that the Act 11 was completely their own distillate. I was incorrect. It's a mix of MGP and their own distillate, but they don't disclose the percentages and stuff. Right. And I wish they would. But
yeah, sure.
Just not something I look forward to anymore or drink much anymore.
Sorry, buddy. All right, moving on. As you folks know, that I do like Scotch. I like it quite a bit. But there's one I want to highlight in this video, and it's a big daddy. It's a big name, Macallan. Yeah, it's a huge name, Trent. I know you don't know.
I know nothing about that.
I think you even said, "Oh, you got a Macallan."
I did. Yeah.
No, he didn't say that. I'm just kidding.
No, I did at one point.
But the Macallan line to me, it's chill filtered. So for my tastes in Scotch, I do try to purchase non-chill filtered natural color.
Okay.
It just adds to the experience of the single malt Scotch sip for me. The other reason it is natural color, but it is chill filtered. The other thing is it's 43 ABV, so it's 86 proof. So the proof is way low. I like it in the 90s somewhere. The 92 proof is fantastic. This 86 just gets to be a little boring. It's pretty good, but also more than anything else, especially with their higher end products. This 18-year, God bless her, your mom bought me this for Christmas. Like,
Oh, nice.
actually, this Christmas will be 3 years that she
Wow,
bought me
okay.
this, and it was like $300. So it's a big purchase, but now they're like $400.
Really?
Yeah, it's a lot of money. I do think they're 12-year-olds, so they got a double cask and a sherry oak cask. I think they're pretty good. Again, they're chill filtered, but natural color. I think the double cask is trending is around $80. So yeah, okay, all right. The sherry cask is close to $100. But then on the other hand, I can walk down to even our stores here and buy a Glenallachie 12-year, which is spectacular in that sherry
Is that cask
line.
strength, that one?
No,
Or it's higher?
no,
Oh, it's
but
not?
it's 92 proof.
Oh, okay.
So the proof point, it's non-chill filtered, and the sherry flavors it's a sherry bomb. It's spectacular, and it's $65, right?
All right.
So I've got a few up there, but I'm not going to be reaching for Macallan anytime soon anymore.
Yeah.
Kind of done with it.
Ooh, you're not boring. Sorry.
Yeah,
Well,
I think I am. I think I got
Scott,
to Scotch, and you just kind of dozed off there. But I get it. I get
A
it.
little bit. Well, you ready for this last one?
Yeah.
So this one I'm sure is gonna surprise several folks. But this is Weller Full Proof, and I almost put Weller 12 up here too. I might as well just imagine a Weller 12 right in this spot. We recently did a Weller blind, all six of them, thanks to Jay. He hooked us up with the last 2 bottles of his. And I think Weller Full Proof ranked like 2nd or 3rd. Not that it's bad by any means, but I'm picking up 107 instead of this. And honestly, if I was at a store and I saw a 107 and a Weller Full Proof, I'd go with the 107 all day. It's just not. I was fortunate enough to get one at a store 3 years ago, I think, on accident. Liz, the gal at Pat's, I was looking for bourbons and stuff, and she goes, "Hey, do you want a Weller? A Weller? I got one in." And I was like, "Yeah, which one?" And she's like, "Oh, it's the green label." And I was like, "Okay, yeah, cool, I'll take that one." And she comes out and she's like, "I lied, it's the blue one." And I was like, "Oh, even better." And she's like, "I will sell it to you for like $35. And I was like, "Absolutely." This was one of the first like really unicorn bottles that I got. So I take it home.
I remember that.
Yeah, so I take it home and I pour it, and I'm all excited, and I poured her a sample because she sold it to me. I took it back to her.
Yeah.
And it was okay. I want to say at the time I was like in love with it. And then as it opened up, as I kept kind of reaching for it a little bit more, I was just like, this is just kind of not the best. And I don't know what it is. I think the one that we did the blind in, I got like some limestoniness to it. I think that was one of my notes, if I'm remembering correctly.
I'm going to have to disagree with you just a touch there. If you'd have brought out solely the Weller 12-year, I'd have been on board with that, because I've never been a huge fan of that particular bottle. But I think that Weller Full Proof is pretty darn good. Now, because of the blinds that we did with the 107, I'm not gonna deny the fact that the 107 is great. Okay, it is. I get that, but I'm still on board with the Full Proof. I am. That's just me. I think it's really good.
Well, we agree to disagree. Or
I
whatever.
don't.
No,
Yeah, that's all right. That's all right.
It's a fine bottle if you're able to
Yeah.
purchase one. Fantastic. It's just not something that I'm really clamoring for anymore.
Hey, that's one of your bottles. I'm not going to take it away from you.
Thank you.
All right, last but not least, on my side, we have a Bardstown. Now, please keep it in mind, I am not referring to their Origin series. I think their Origin series is fantastic. I really do, for Bardstown. I think that was the best thing they could have ever done for that company, is come out with that lower price point, whiskey. And it's all their own distillate, which I think is great. It's all 6-year product, which is great. My personal favorite is the wheated bottle with the black label.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my personal favorite. And for 50 whatever bucks, I think it's a great buy. When that bottle's gone, I will be getting another one because it's fantastic. And I think the price point is really, really good. So what I'm referring to in specifics here for Bardstown is their Discovery Series. And as you know, by the look of all the bottles that I have over there, folks, I've got Bardstown Discovery Series number 1.
He's got 16 Bardstown bottles.
Is it? No, it ain't.
It is.
Bardstown Discovery Series. So it kind of gives it gravity here. I mean, it kind of gives it some depth to what I'm trying to say because I was all on board completely. I actually have Discovery Series number 1, and the first 4, and I think 4 in specific, is just ridiculously good. But then I can't remember where it started, Trenton, 7, 8, 9, somewhere in there. They started dipping into Tennessee whiskey in the blends and the Canadian corn whiskey and trying different things. And I don't know where that came into play. I know Bardstown was bought out several years ago. Maybe that new corporation came in and said, we got to kind of, tighten it up here. Let's get some less cost. I don't know. It's none of my business. I don't care to even research that part of it. But all I knew as a customer, as a consumer, I was walking in and this, the new Discoveries are $120.
They're not
it's
cheap.
Not cheap. I did hear that the Discovery 11, they're going back to Kentucky Bourbons now. I think
good.
This is just by memory, but I think it's a 13-year and a 10-year Kentucky Bourbon in the blend, along with some of their own distillate. Some of their own 6-year wheated distillate is in that blend.
Okay.
So I haven't tried it. My point is, between their Discovery Series and their Collaborative Series, that's $150. Yeah. I'm not lining up for that anymore. I'm just not. Now, put this little tidbit out there. If I hear rumblings that one of them is fantastic, I might buy it. But I'm not going to guinea pig them anymore, and I'm not buying every one of them just to see is it good or not. It's just a lot of money to be purchasing every year for one, for whiskey that's pretty good.
Yeah,
it's pretty good, but a lot of money.
Yeah, the last Bardstown I think I've ever bought was the Plantation Rum Finish. It was okay, but it's $150.
Yeah,
I was like, no, they just came out with an Amaro Nonino.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I wouldn't mind having a pour of that somewhere. Just check it out, but I'm not buying it.
No.
Unless I hear from several different trusted sources that it's just absolutely ridiculously good, then I might think about it. But otherwise, I'm not getting it.
Yeah, those are tough for sure. But
yeah. Well, that's all we got for you today. What we really appreciate is a little bit of reciprocation in the comments of what you think. Do you think we're off our rocker? There could be. Possibly.
I usually am.
We also like to know what your bottles are. There has to be some bottles that everybody has that, boy, you really liked it at one time, but then now it's like, take it or leave it.
Yeah. I'd be interested to hear that too. Yeah.
So let us know. Let us know your choices as well. Thanks for everybody for watching. We appreciate each and every one of you. As always, we ask you to please drink responsibly and see you next time right down here with Trent and me in the good old basement bourbon bar.
I had a little bit of a shoe malfunction. Did you see that?
See you later.
Ow, that hurt.